Hello everyone, welcome back. Welcome to my solo Nez breakdown video. I'm going to be going over loadouts first, and then just the encounter. I'll have timestamps for everything to the best of my ability in the description and also in the pinned comment, so skip to what you need, and yeah, let's get right into this. So to start us off, we're going to just look at the running loadout. So the meta has changed, and now instead of double special, the strat is for Warlock Osteo for your ad clear and ammo generation, and then you have a snipe for crits, and then obviously you're just holding onto rocket for ammo for damage. So Osteo Necrotics is going to be your ad clear, and you're going to use that to keep up Devour. And with Osteo, you're going to use ammo finders. I use the kinetic siphon, of course, one heavy finder, one special finder. I personally found that there was more than enough heavy with just one ammo finder, and I didn't really need a second heavy ammo finder. Now, if you find you do need a second heavy ammo finder, you can swap out the special ammo finder for heavy, but I would not recommend it, purely because Voidlock doesn't use up that much heavy, and having more accessible special is very good, which I'll get to in a second with the Felwinter loadout. So other mods you're going to want are just Solar Reserves for your Apex. You're going to want Resist mod, you got your Firepower, and then other arm mods. Got I use Recuperation. You don't have to use Recuperation, you can use a different, or Pickup gives something. But yeah, have that, and then your Scavs, and Special Finisher to store armor charges, and 4 times release recover. Nothing crazy here. There's no really relevant seasonal mods for running. I know Elemental Embrace seems like it would be epic here, but it unfortunately is bugged, so if you're refreshing Devour by killing enemies, it does not refresh that 50% damage resist, so it's basically just useless. And as for perks on the weapons, the only thing that really matters is your sniper. I recommend an adaptive sniper with lead from gold and a high mag. It doesn't really matter what you use as long as you're comfortable with it, in my opinion. You don't even need lead from gold, though I do highly recommend it. As for aspects and fragments and stuff, we got Empowering Rift. This is just going to be used on damage, so we're just having that throughout all the loadouts. I use Burst Glide because it is just better for running. You can go faster. Vortex Nade, Feed the Void, Child of the Old Gods, and then your Remnants, Undermining, Resistance, and Obscurity. Now, Remnants and Undermining are for sure, you don't get to choose those. You have those. Obscurity, I would argue, is also an insta-lock just because of how much easier the Felwinter Finish is with it, if you do choose to Felwinter Finish. And then Persistence, I like just for the longer invis and easier Devour uptime, but this one is the one you can probably swap if you really want to. I have seen a lot of people using the fragment that's Orb Pickup gives Devour, because what that also does is you pick up an orb and you get your entire health back, which is pretty awesome. But I don't think it's I don't think it's needed at all, so I wouldn't recommend it. But if you find it easier to use, then by all means go ahead. And yeah, that's running. So this is the main shift that has happened. I would say it's all in the running. Your Felwinter swap is now you swap way earlier. If you're familiar with the solo, this will make sense to you. If not, don't worry. But after breaking, so here I have it. After breaking the third crits or taking gaze, you need to swap to this, and it's basically the same. It's still got your release recover, still got your resil, The main thing you're seeing here is switching to triple reserves for your energy weapon, and you want this to be ideally a rapid fire frame with 8 mag. So you can use like iterative, fusion or something. You can use shotguns. I believe Deicide is the best because it has the best inventory stat. Then you have Basso, and then you have the Gambit shotgun, dead weight. But all you really need is an 8 mag rapid fire frame weapon. That's not a sniper. Maybe a sniper works, but I have not tested it at all. And then here I'm swapping to Wastelander. This is just going to be to prep the Colossus, because 2 shots makes it finisherable, and then I can finish it off. As for mods, yeah, like I said before, reserves, you got your scabs. I like a holster here just because it's kind of nice, because I don't like having to reload Wastelander while running. If I can avoid that a little bit, that's nice. Proximity ward is an absolute must for your finisher, and then the rest is whatever you want, really. I would recommend a kinetic loader just for Wastelander. I have melee kickstart on here. I'm going to be completely honest, this is cope. The only reason why I have this here is just in case I swap to Felwinter loadout and I don't have triple surges or triple armor charge, I can still pick up armor charge. If I don't have this on, I can't pick up more armor charge, and I'm in a bit of trouble. So that's why I have this here. I can't use a finisher mod because obviously I'm doing Felwinter finish and that will just burn my charges. So I use melee kickstart instead because I know I'm not going to be using my melee ability. And yeah, that's just the Felwinter loadout. And I'll touch on how to do Felwinter finish consistently, or as consistently as possible. Let's get to the gameplay. So DPS, you got Merciless here, got Notes as well, and with Merciless is just the same as Explicator, what you'd expect. You've got your triple reserves. Well, that's, I guess, the difference. You've got triple reserves, that way you can 3 mag Merciless. You got your surges, time dilations, loaders, targeting, rain of fire. It's what you expect. And then here, for rocket damage, we've got Wither, Scout, Rocket. This I'll touch on more in a second. Same deal, except now you have just resist mods, surges, time dilations. You got your loader, dexterity, targeting. For this energy slot, this is only going to matter for this season, but you can have a void auto-loading primary to proc mono. If you don't have a void auto-loading primary, don't worry about it. Just use some other auto-loading primary. Don't worry about mono. All that's going to do is buff your Nova Bomb damage by a little bit. It's not really that big of a deal. In terms of swap timing, Funnel Web is probably one of the best. I know it's a bit better than this Royal Chase here in terms of animation timer for weapon swap. I believe it's with 1 harmonic dexterity, and Ophids, it is 0.05 seconds faster than this Royal Chase right here, which is auto-loading quick draw. So yeah, and obviously damage, yeah, using Ophids because nothing else really matters too much. And I'll get into the damage rotation more when we get into the gameplay breakdown, which will be right now. Alright, here you can see I go to start on light. You can start on whichever side you're comfortable with, but yeah, I prefer light just because I like breaking crits on this light plate right here more than this dark plate right here. I think it's just easier, less flinch, just because you have these roots for protection from these ads here. On the right side, you are kind of exposed to this ad spawn here. So yeah, you don't take too much flinch though, so it's not that big of a deal. Here, yeah, just breaking crits before I go to hit the node, and then This, in case you didn't know, with taking gaze, you can take it, like the hitbox for taking gaze appears the moment this pops up. Once you see Nezarec's hatred, it does not matter if his crit spot is not visually there. You can see here it's like barely even visually formed. It doesn't matter. It is always going to be there if you see the buff up. So you can insta-take, and you can see here I don't quite insta-take, but I take it before he does this whole turning animation and actually starts blasting, so it's just a bit easier. I don't have to worry about missing a shot and then having him start blasting me around, because yeah, I can miss a shot and then still have a chance to do that. Take gaze. Here, I know it's Dark Refuge, so I'm just gonna always do the first node on both sides, and then I like doing another 2 and then putting Refuge over, so I end up doing 3 on one side, 1 on the other, and Refuge on that one side. It is a bit tighter on time. If you're getting slowed or something, you might not be able to do 3-1, maybe you have to do 2-1, but I found 3-1 to be quite nice. And you can see I'm like keeping my Devour up. I'm just spraying Osteo at ads where it's convenient and comfortable, using my grenade to deal with colossuses, and yeah. The Osteo poison is going to do a ton of damage, and it's going to clear ads super well. And it is one of the reasons why I think running is a lot easier now, just because Osteo acts as a pseudo restoration, right? Because it's going to poison a legionary and that's going to spread through all the ads, and you're just going to be constantly proccing Devour, which is going to be constantly restoring your health, which is what restoration does. So it feels like that. And running feels a lot better now, honestly. Except for Felwinter Running, which we'll see in a second. So here, just running nodes as I do. One thing, let me back up a little bit and then I'll skip back forward. So when I wrote crits, let's see. So, oh wait, I'm way too far back, holy. So this is when I refuged, okay. Perfect, so when I break crits here, I can see it's dark. A lot of people, what they're gonna do, they're gonna see that it's dark and they're immediately gonna start running light. I already grabbed Flux of Darkness, so I'm just going to finish this node. And then I'm going to actually switch over. If you are under the buff and you, like, say I'm under dark buff, right? And I get Dark Refuge, you should not go to light side and just start running light and then bring it over. If you are under a buff, you grab it and you run it. There is no reason not to do that. I've seen that mistake a few times from people, and it's in my opinion generally just gonna slow you down. You're running down overall. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. Here I'm just gonna finish out a couple dark nodes. I'm gonna run over, get this light done, just so I only have my 2 dark nodes left once I break crits. You can see me just firing away with Osteo. Here, yeah, I want to deal with this Colossus, and I throw my nade into middle. This is so I get my Devour proc, so I can quickly swap. You want to have some form of healing wait for when you go for your swap. Whether that's restoration from release or cover, whether that's you're hiding and you're about gonna swap and then finish a node, or something, you definitely want healing, some form. So here, yeah, I'm just picking up ammo. When you're crossing from light to dark with Felwinters, just make sure you have healing. So you have your grenade down, or you're just killing ads or something. Your invis maybe. Yeah, you're doing something. So here I make a decision which. So I notice I don't have that much shotgun ammo, so I know I'm kind of gonna be going for 2 mags of merciless. It's it is what it is. Here I almost threw my Devourer because I knew I was a bit low on time. So 1 second for when I reprocced, and then I go to prep this colossus and I finish him. And here I realize, so I didn't entirely realize how low I was on shotgun ammo. I kind of did at this moment, but I also see my Devourer is on 10 seconds. So I make the decision to kill this Legionary to reproc my Devourer. The reason why this is such a big deal is I only have 2 mags of merciless ammo, which means I'm going to be doing 7 rockets. Now if I only have 1 kinetic ammo, that means I'd only get 1 bait and switch proc. So that taking that 1 single shotgun shot costs me somewhere in the ballpark of 300 to 400,000 damage, I want to say, at least. But it does keep my Devour up. So I got 6 seconds of Devour from that kill. You're gonna see here, I get to the spot and I'm watching for the glow. And I see the glow here, which means damage is about to start. So remember how I mentioned I got 6 seconds longer Devour from that 1 shot? This is where you see that come into play. So I would have been technically on 0 seconds, maybe I would have had it, but this just guaranteed that I had Devour up going into damage, which makes doing Merciless so much easier, so much nicer. There's multiple spots you can do Merciless damage from. You can see right now I'm kind of in the, I guess we'll call it like the safe spot, where you just lure him over and you shoot his thigh, basically. But I am backed up a little bit. So here, I'm gonna do first mag merciless, get my kill. Before I reload, I throw my weaken nade. That's gonna extend the Felwinter debuff. Except it doesn't. You see here, I miss the impact, and the Felwinter is actually gonna run out before he steps into the weaken nade. So I sold that. And drop Rift before going to swap. And then here, it's just with a rocket damage. You want to be kind of in this corner you can see me in. That way your Void Soul is able to see Nez and run over to him to get that debuff. So this is where the rotation gets scuffed. Here normally you have more Wither ammo. I don't have that, so I'm gonna do a very janky rotation, and it's actually gonna cost me because I'm not used to doing a rotation without kinetic ammo. So here, this is the mistake I make. So I don't wait long enough, and I don't get my recon proc. So I basically lose out on a rocket. I should have gotten 7 rockets out. Instead, I only get 6 with 2 mags of Merciless. I also lost bait and switch, which I believe runs out. For both of these 2 rockets, neither of these 2 have bait and switch. Or at least the second one definitely doesn't, because look at the damage that it's hitting. 113,000 and 35,000. With your full debuff, and so with a 30% debuff and your Emprift, a bait and switch rocket is going to hit for 200,000 explosion damage and then like 60,000 impact. So this is doing like half of that, just for a perspective of how scuffed this is. But you can see I scuff damage extremely hard, and I'm still hitting clearable damage. So that's the strength of Void Warlock. You can hit clearable damage with like anything. I had 2 mags of Merciless, ended up doing 2 mag plus 6 rockets without a reproc on bait and switch, and running out of Wither, and I still hit enough damage. So generally, past the P, or like around the P is considered clearable damage. And then your threshold for the next round is like around the comma, the damage you want to hit. And see here, the game bugs. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna use my melee to get Devour back up. I throw my melee. Oh, it didn't actually bug. Okay. I thought it bugged when this happened. Interesting. So I use my melee, and that procs necrotics, in which kills the colossus instead of my melee killing the colossus. Despite me looking at him, I'm looking at this colossus, I cast my melee, it goes over here. Okay, that's pretty funny. Because I'm expecting to get Devour off of that, and I just don't, because I get trolled. So now I'm like, that's a bit of a problem. Because you do want to get Devour before you start running, because it's just really easy. You either like punch a legionary, then charge melee, or if there's something weak, you can just charge melee it. Instead, I just don't get that, so I just have no Devour for a little bit until I get my nade back. So I'm just waiting on that. So here you can see me doing the thing where I insta-take pretty much. If you want to pre-aim this, I recommend aiming kind of right here, because sometimes he does do this weird turning thing, and it's worse if he turns to the left this way, because he's gonna turn his like the chest hitbox away, and you're not gonna be able to hit it if it goes at too harsh of an angle. Whereas if he turns to the right, obviously that's just gonna open up his chest and make it easier to hit. This is just standard running here. I'll go over Felwinter Finish in more detail at the end of this. At the end of this running set. You can see me constantly just keeping the osteo poison up on all the ads. Here, like I mentioned in the first running set, I'm right under a buff, so even though I break dark, I think I played audio cue, so I heard that it was a dark break, and then I wanted to sanity check myself. I'm just gonna run this anyways, just because it's right there. And that's also gonna let me so now I know, okay, I make an interesting decision. Instead of just running light, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I can just run this last dark node, so I only have one dark left. That way, I can just finish out, I can make a dark refuge and finish out light, and then come over and finish out dark. And here, you can see me killing Colossus. You need to be doing that during the second running phase, or second round of running, rather. That's just going to make the Colossus respawn over back here, next to Dark Final, and it'll make it easier to Felwinter finish. If you're not killing that Colossus, he might walk all the way over here, and that's going to be a problem if you're trying to finish him. He might also walk over here. He just likes walking, and you don't want him walking because you want him next to the final node. So make sure you're killing that. So, yep. Here, just making refuge, and then I'm going to just run the last bit of light. It does seem bad on paper that I have 3 light nodes left, but just having only the last dark node is what makes it totally fine. Just because running light is not that bad. And this is, you can see with the special bricks on the ground, this is also why I recommend special finder, because you don't want a situation like I had with the first damage phase where there's not a lot of easily accessible special bricks and you don't have enough special. So Special Finder typically alleviates that most of the time. That's why I say typically. You can see me just reprocking my Devour. I am using my energy ammo because I know I'm going to pick up more. And I do right there. So, yep, finish this out. So here, I'm going to go for the finisher. So when you go for the finisher, there's a lot of ways you can go about it. Because you're swapping a lot earlier, it's pretty easy to do. I think I do it here, yeah. So I melee a legionary and I'm immediately just going to finish him. That's going to take a lot of pressure off of me. Nezarec is still going to hang around because he was aggroed on me. So Nez will still aggro on you. If you're invis, he will follow you around because he's a boss. He won't like directly attack you, but he will stay on your heels if he's already aggroed on you. Keywords there, if he's already aggroed on you. If you hit a finisher where Nez is not aggroed on you, it can result in him just literally leaving. He will just dip. So be careful of that. And yeah, if things are dicey, definitely just melee legionary, finisher it, and then take your time with actually finishing the colossus. Alternatively, you can just kill a legionary to reproc Devour, and then 2 shots into the colossus, finish it, and head over to the damage spot. Just make sure when you're shooting the colossus, never go for the head, because you may insta-kill it with 2 shots. If it's not at full health, obviously you need to play around that. And if you have debuffed it like I have here, make sure you're also playing around that. So you're going to see here, I intentionally back up to make sure I'm not hitting full damage on my shotgun, so I'm not killing it here. Now, if I pause it for a second, oh, okay, here's a better frame. You can see he's on like 2 HP. Now, this is calculated, frankly. I've spent too much time in here. It takes a while to get a good feel of, okay, I'm X distance away, here's how much damage I'm going to be doing because of that. But if you do end up killing it, it's not a big deal. You don't need Felwinter Finish to hit damage. And had I killed it, I would have gotten my Devour proc and my health would have been fine. And I know, okay, if I don't kill it, I'm not going to get killed by this slam. So I'm just going to hit the finish here in a second, and I'm not going to die anyways. Swap during finisher, run over, and I know here I see, yeah, okay, I see the beam, and Nez is going to jump slam pretty conveniently. It's not a bad thing that he's above me. It may catch you off guard, but that was actually very good because you see here, the beam is already being cast right now. But Nez can't start damage if he's in the middle of a jump slam. So this actually buys me a second or two where I'm able to get in position, get my merciless kill, and get ready for damage. And then he's actually going to start damage a couple seconds late. But those 2 seconds, I would have just not been doing damage, so that works literally perfectly for me. I'm actually going to back up into the bottom corner so his slam doesn't hit me off the map. And this damage is perfect. This is perfect damage. I'm able to rebuff. I completely whiffed that merciless shot, and then most of that will end there, but it's fine. Get my 3 mag merciless, rift, bam, wither for bait and switch, 2 rockets, reload, wither, proc mono, cast my nova, get the big mono damage. And another 2 rockets, reload, and my last rocket. And you can see just how much I cooked. I went all the way from the P to the Z, which is, you see, if I have, okay, for perspective, I hit this damage in my first Nez clear this season, and I ended up somewhere around, I want to say right here. So compared to my first damage phase, it's a big difference. It's a lot more damage. And so this, immediately, I know there is 0 pressure on my 3rd phase damage. You can see, that's not a lot of health. So I'm completely chilling. And I'm able to get my Devour proc, which is nice. I've got plenty of rockets, because with this little health, Merciless is just going to push to final. So now it's just a matter of executing. And here I'm just trying to calm my nerves and play. So you might see a couple misplays because of nerves, but that's also the power of Void Lock. It's so strong and so good that you can make misplays, you can have shit happen, and it won't affect your run, which is very nice. Or it won't affect it too much. The amount of just wiggle room you get with Void Lock is great. I would say the biggest hurdle is just running. Especially running with Felwinter on. That can be a bit tricky at first, but you get used to it. So here I'm just going to take crits. And again, I'm right underneath the buff, so I'm just going to run that. I can't remember. What color did I see? Did I play? There's no way I played audio on the crit color. No. Surely there's... What? Did I actually play audio cue for color? So in case you don't know, Nez, at least from what I've heard, maybe I'm tripping, but okay, I can see the dark explosion for like half a second here. But when you break his crits and it's a light or a dark explosion, maybe I am tripping, but it sounds a bit different. It sounds slightly different, light versus dark. And I've had times where I play audio cue because either I'm lazy or I'm getting blinded by colossuses or something's going on. So here I'm just gonna finish up running. Oh, yeah. So I know I need to get light refuge. So instead of running this last light node, yeah, I'm running buff over. And I actually pick up light just because it's free restoration. It's spread along the way. Oh wait, no, it was a dark refuge. Okay, I'm just trolling apparently. I don't understand. Okay. Huh, interesting. I have no clue how I saw that was dark. I'm also not listening to audio of the run, so yeah, here I'm just going to grab gaze and run over, or grab hatred. I'm just waiting on my swap because I know there's a lot going on. Here is by far and away one of the closest calls. So I know I'm running into this colossus and he's gonna stomp me and that's gonna be a problem. I know Nez just dropped down into middle and he's gonna throw a scythe beam at me and that's gonna be a problem. So I go here and I kill this legionary and I'm banking on this spreading to the legionary beside it, so I get this refresh and then I'm gonna get stomped and then the cleave is gonna hit me right about now and this other legionary is going to die immediately and restore all my health. So while it is an insanely close call, it is also expected. I wouldn't say it was perfectly planned because I'm not perfectly planning anything at that pace, but it was more of a general idea of, hey, I know I'm going to take a lot of damage, I know I need to get some healing stat, so I'm going to prep Osteo Poison right now. And here I'm going to swap directly in middle just because I know I have poison going on, I know I have a nade down, and I'm right on top of a special brick, so that's nice. I'm just going to be using my shotgun to reproc Devour. You can actually, I wonder if you can see here, my crosshair is actually like shaking a little bit because I'm so nervous. And I see right here, I see Nez glowing, right? You can see these little lines, and that's from him glowing. So I actually had a solo flawless run that happened almost exactly just like this, where I had the last buff, I had the damage, I was going into third phase damage, I had everything, and I run over to this node and I shoot it, and and I look back, and Nez is wiping me, and that was heartbreaking. So when I see this register and I see Nez not wiping me, like, I am just, oh my god, the amount of like relief I feel is insane. But here you're gonna see I make an interesting decision. So I'm pretty confident that every single person in solo server would tell me not to go for finisher here, and they would be absolutely correct. My damage is perfectly fine. Finishers are risky. They are not always perfectly consistent. You run a higher chance of dying because it's just the nature of it. And with the amount of health Nez has left, there is quite literally zero reason to take this risk. However, I am fairly confident in my Felwinter finishes. I know that I want this colossus dead. I don't want to risk it just nuking me, even though I know it's probably not going to, and I can just do merciless from a safe spot. But yeah, I decide to go for the finisher, which is, I mean, it's a decision, that's for sure. I think that's pretty much the only way I can put it. And it works out perfectly fine. Nez is relatively far away. However, it's not a big deal because I'm able to walk forward a little bit, just a tad, and it's fine. So here I'm, again, nerves. I don't remember to throw my grenade to extend the Felwinter debuff. However, it literally does not matter because at the end of 2 mags and merciless, I'm literally pushing him to final. Like 18,000. My grenade was about to push him to final. So for final stand, you need your rift, and you need 5 rockets in your super. So you drop rift, you swap, you get that wither. If you need to, shoot your energy weapon to proc bait and switch. I know I've already done merciless, so I'm just gonna instantly get that bait and switch. And if you have 15% debuff like I have here, it's going to be 5 rockets. If you have Felwinter extended into final, it's going to be 4 rockets. So just standard rotation, rocking mono and everything. And the kill. Oh my god. Yeah. I can't lie, it felt so good. I actually, when I was jumping up here, I had an oh shit moment because for some reason I thought I was about to fall into the void. I don't know why, but yeah. This is pretty much Nezarec. I think I covered almost everything. You can see you actually get a ton of kills with osteo. It's just osteo necrotics. So ammo really isn't an issue. Yeah, I believe that should be pretty much everything. I hope this video was helpful to you, and I hope you enjoyed. This series was pretty fun to make. I enjoyed it, and I'm still figuring out what I want to do next. I've got college stuff that I've got to take care of, so I'll be busy for a bit, and then I might be, I don't know, I might go into Titan or Hunter Ron. Maybe I actually decide to work on lowmans and stuff, but we'll see. I'll probably be streaming on Twitch for that or something. I will figure that out, but yeah, make sure to check out the D2 solo raid server if you haven't. If you're interested in any solo raiding content, I just highly recommend hopping in there. There's a lot of great people in there, and they know a lot of tech that I either maybe missed or did not cover in here. So yeah. Anyways, I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see y'all next time.